So good morning dear cadets. So as you know, P block I have already completed. Okay. So now unit number 8, that is D and F block elements. So just try to understand. Here also variation is there, but that much variation is not there as you have seen in case of P block elements. That was one of the biggest unit, and if you consider weighted wise, so their weightage was also the highest out of all units of chemistry. So we took a lot of time, but I have covered almost all the variations. So just take care that unit. Now let us begin with the D and F block elements. So now here two block elements are there, D and F. So first we'll begin with D block elements, okay, and afterwards we'll teach you F block elements, okay. Somehow D and F is related with each other. We'll tell you how and why they are related, okay. So just try to understand D block elements. So just see the introductory points I wrote here. D block elements. Why they are known as D block elements? Because their last electron enters in D orbital. That is why they are known as D block elements. Okay. Next thing is, what is their general electronic configuration? Their general electronic configuration is N-1 D1 to 10 NS1 to 2. So what is the meaning of N here? N is the principal quantum number. N equal to principal quantum number. -1 means last but one cell. Last but one cell is known as penultimate cell. N-1 means last cell -1 means last but one cell. In D orbital 1 to 10 maximum capacity of D orbital is 10 electron only it can accommodate, okay. So 1 to 10 electron can be, and NS orbital 1 to 2 electron. In some cases 1 electron, some cases 2 electron, and S maximum capacity is 2 only. So beyond 2 electron cannot be accommodated in the S orbital. Next one is some elements like palladium, Pd, electron is not present in S orbital. So some in chemistry always exceptions are there. So here also exception is there. In some elements like palladium, electron is not present in S orbital. Now what is their position in the periodic table? Their position in the periodic table is group number 3rd to 12. So total how many groups belongs to the transition element are D block elements? 10. Okay. Fifth one, they are placed in between S block elements and P block elements. So you know the position of S block element. S block element is present in the group number 1 and 2. P block elements are present in the group number 13 to 18. Okay. S block element you have studied in 11th class. Okay. Group number 13 and 14 you have studied in 11th class. 15, 16, 17, 18 just now we have finished in P block elements. Now, so their position in the periodic table is in between S block and P block elements. Okay. So they are sandwiched between S block and P block elements. That is why they are known as transition element. What is the meaning of transition element? The meaning of transition word in English is shifting from one position to another position. Shifting from one position to another position. That is known as transition period. Okay. So their other name is transition element. Why they are known as transition elements? Because they show gradual change in the periodic properties. What are the periodic properties? Ionization enthalpy, atomic size, ionic size, electron gain enthalpy, electronegativity, electropositive character, electrometallic character, negative character. These are known as periodic property. So they are known as transition elements because they show gradual change in the periodic properties, like from most electropositive S block elements to most electronegative P block elements. Okay. Not only this one, in all periodic properties, like just see ionization. Let us say ionization enthalpy. S block elements, they have got the least ionization enthalpy. But as we move left to right in the periodic table, there is a gradual change in the ionization enthalpy. Am I correct or not? Similarly, you take electropositive characters. So S orbitals are the most electropositive, but P orbitals are most electronegative elements, especially 17 group. So they are known as transition elements because they show gradual change from in the periodic property, like from most electropositive to character to most electronegative character. Now here, for the sake of example, I took here S block elements. You can write here from most lowest ionization enthalpy to highest ionization enthalpy. Any periodic property you can take as an example. Okay. Now try to understand. Here I make one cell diagram. So just see, what is this one? This is nucleus. Okay. This is the n equal to 1. Quantum number is 1. Principal quantum number. N equal to 2. N equal to 3. Last one is n equal to 4. So this one is the last cell, outermost cell. This is known as NS cell. This is second cell, means a second from outermost cell. This is known as penultimate cell. What is this one? Penultimate cell. N-1 D cell. So this is only last but one cell. This is outermost cell is NS cell. This one is last but one cell, N-1 D cell. Now what about this one? From outermost cell, the cell number third. So anti-penultimate cell. This is known as anti-penultimate cell. N-2 F cell. This is also known as. Okay, so in d orbital elements or transition elements, electrons are filled in this one, second cell from outermost cell. That is why it is known as N-1 D cell. So here meaning of N is last cell. Last cell. -1 means last but one cell. That is penultimate cell. Okay. So now as far as introduction is concerned, now introductory points of d orbital elements are completely completed. Okay. Now one more point is there, that is the important. Entire transition elements are divided into transition series. Transition series 1, transition series 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So we'll classify transition elements, but right now that much is enough. Just like S block elements are divided into group number 1 and 2 belongs to the S block element. Similarly, transition elements we will study series wise. Transition series first, second, third and fourth. So dear cadets, now we have entered into one very important segment of this unit. Okay, definition of transition elements. So just now I have justified why they are known as transition elements. Okay, but actually if you see carefully, so there is a two criteria for classification of transition elements. Means what kind of elements will be classified as a transition elements. So just see, in the definition only it is there. Means you can write this one as a definition or you can write this one as a condition to be transition elements. So in two condition only elements will be classified as a transition elements. Condition number 1, either their d orbital should be partially filled or incompletely filled in their ground state, or in their any of oxidation state d orbital should be partially filled. Okay, so are you getting my point? Once again I am telling you, there are two conditions. On the basis of those two conditions only we can classify elements as a transition elements. Number 1, they must have partially filled or incompletely filled d orbital in their ground state, or in their any one of any oxidation state must have partially filled d orbital. Partially filled d orbital. Now I have got two set of elements. One set of element is zinc, cadmium and Hg. Zinc, cadmium and Hg. Just see, zinc is 30, okay, this is 48 and this one is 80, Hg. Just see, their last electron enters in d orbital, that is 3d10 4s2. Similarly, cadmium 4d10 5s2, Hg 5d10 6s2. Okay. So just see, this is ground state, their d orbital is completely filled. And what is the condition to be transition elements? they must have partially filled d orbital in ground state. So just see, in ground state they don't have partially filled d orbital. Now let us see in their oxidation state. You remove 2 electrons from here. So now zinc will be 2 positive plus here 2 electron. So now 3d10. Similarly here minus 2 electron. So now CD 2 positive. Now here 4d10. Okay. Plus here 2 electron. Hg 2 positive. Here what would be there? 5d10. Okay. Plus 2 electron. So just see in their oxidation state also, what is there? Partially filled d orbital is not there. Okay. So zinc, cadmium and Hg should not be classified as a transition element. But if you see carefully, zinc is the last member of first transition series, cadmium is the last member of second transition series, Hg is the last member of third transition series, means they are classified as a transition elements. Neither in their ground state nor in their any one of oxidation state partially filled d orbital is there, completely filled d orbital is there. Nevertheless, they are classified as a transition elements, because here I wrote, since their properties are similar with transition elements, hence they are classified as a transition elements. But generally, they are not considered to be transition elements. Okay. Just see here question also I wrote. Zinc, cadmium, Hg generally do not consider as transition elements. Why? So zinc, cadmium and Hg, they do not consider as a transition elements because neither in their ground state nor in their any one of any oxidation state contains partially filled d orbital. Hence they are not considered as transition elements, means they do not fit into the criteria of transition elements, but nevertheless they are classified as a transition element. Generally they do not consider, as transition element, but still they are the part of transition series. So reason is here, since their properties are similar with the transition elements, that is why they have been kept. Okay. Now let us enumerate second set of element, that is Cu, Ag and Au. Okay. Cu is 3d10 4s1, Ag 4d10 5s1, Au 5d10 6s1. So just see, this is ground state. What is this one? Ground state. Remember, we should not consider s orbital. What is the considered to be the transition elements? Their d orbital must be incompletely filled or partially filled. Okay. So in the ground state, in Cu, Ag and Au, what is there? Partially filled d orbital is not there. But try to understand. If we remove 2 electron from here, so now Cu2 positive plus 2 electron. Now here 3d9 will be there. 3d9. Now just see. Now d orbital is now partially filled. Completely filled means 10. This is partially filled. Ag case also. Just remove 2 electrons. Ag 2 positive plus 2 electron. So here what would be there? 4d9. Now just see, in Ag also now partially filled d orbital is there after the removal of 2 electron. Similarly Au 2 positive plus 2 electron. Here what is there? 5d10. 5d10. Are you getting my point or not? Just see. Of course, in the ground state, they do not have vacant d, means partially filled d orbital. But what is the second condition? First condition they do not fulfill, but second condition they are fulfilling in their any oxidation state. Now copper 2 positive 3d9, Ag 2 positive 4d9, Au 2 positive 5d9. Here just see, now in their oxidation state d orbital is partially filled. That is why they are classified. In ground state they do not have partially filled d orbital, but in their oxidation state d orbital is partially filled. That is why they are considered as transition element. Here I wrote question, copper AgAu, they do not have partially filled d orbital in ground state. Here write in GS, ground state. Nevertheless, they have classified as a transition element. In they just see, in their most stable oxidation state, partially filled d orbital is there. That is why they are classified as a transition element. Here also question is there. Just see, Ag is considered to be transition element, but zinc does not. Answer I think you have got. Of course, in ground state, Ag hasn't got partially filled d orbital, but in their oxidation state, that is Ag2 positive, it has got the partially filled d orbital. That is why it has been classified as a transition element. What about zinc? Zinc neither in ground state nor in their oxidation state. Partially filled d orbital is there. So answer also I wrote here. Zinc, cadmium, Hg neither in ground state nor in their any of oxidation state. D orbital is partially filled. While in Ag, it's I am writing this side. Its oxidation state, that is Ag2 positive, partially filled d orbital is there. Partially filled d orbital is there. D orbital is there. Okay, that is why they are classified. In this way, just two set of question is completely dealt by me. Okay, now these are the important question. Okay, blackboard may not be neat and clean, but the things which are written here, if you put the pause button, you can write, you can see. Okay, you can understand my problem also. Dear cadets, there is a lot of variation in the electronic configuration of transition elements, but some of the important point you must remember. Okay, so there are so many points, but these points will be considered. Okay, very important, because while writing the electronic configuration or while removing the electron from an element of transition elements. So what are the, just see this point, Cu, Ag, Au, they are known as coinage metal, because during the civilization, coins were made out of these metals. That is why they are known as coinage metal. Okay, let us come back to the electronic configuration. Try to understand. Just see, whenever we are writing the electronic configuration, always electrons are filled in the increasing order of energy. Means lower energy orbital should be filled first, higher energy orbital should be filled later on, according to above principle. Okay, so just try to understand. If you see the number, then 3D should be filled first and 4s should be filled later on. But if you see the diagram of above principle, then what is there? The energy of 4s is less than that of 3D. That is why what should be there? 4s orbital should be filled first, then 3D orbital. Okay, but while writing, you can write 3D first, then 4s to maintain the continuity, but filling electron should be filled first in 4s only. Let us see one example. See, scandium, this is the first transition element. Just see, first s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3p6, then what is there? Just see, 3d and 4s. Now try to understand. You can write in this way, 3d first and 4s, but 2 electron you should fill first here. Then what is the electron left now? 1. Okay, now same electronic configuration can be written like that also. First s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, then 3d1. Both are correct only, but first one maintain the continuity. Okay, in terms of numbers of principal quantum number. Okay, so you can write in this way only, first way only, but remember, before filling the electron in 3D, first you should fill the electron in 4s. Okay, So now either you follow this one or this one, but I will suggest you just follow this one. Just remember one thing, write in terms of number 3D first, okay, but while filling the electron 4s should be filled first, okay, that is the first point, okay, no problem at all. Second point is electron must be removed first from 4s orbital then 3D. Now suppose I have written like that. Now suppose you want to remove the electron. From where you will remove the electron? Always remember, let it be like that or like that. Electron must be removed from 4s only first. Now you can see this example. Just see here. Now just see. Zinc, okay, 3D10, 4s2, okay. Suppose I want to remove the electron. So which electron means in which orbital electron is filled first? First electron is filled in 4s, then in 3D. Am I correct or not? Because the energy of 4s orbital is lower than that of 3D. That is why 4s orbital should be filled first, okay. So electron should also be removed first from 4s only. Now minus 2 electron. So what is there here? Now Zn 2 positive plus 2 electron. So here 3D10 is remains intact. Now which electron has come out? 4s only. So second point is electron must be removed first from 4s orbital then 3D orbital, okay. So that is removal is also important, especially in case of their oxidation state, okay. So these 2 points. The last point is always remember, and in 11th class I taught you, the energy difference between 3D orbital and 4s orbital is very meager, very less. That is why in some cases the one electron of 4s orbital jump from 4s orbital to 3D orbital, so that 3D orbital can be half filled or fully filled. Are you getting my point or not? It should be half filled or fully filled. Am I correct or not? Just see. Now last year I taught you the exceptional electronic configuration, that is copper and chromium. Just see. Chromium is 24. So what should be electronic configuration? First s2, 2s2, 2p6, then 3s2, 3s2, then what is there? 3p6, 3p6. After 3p what should be there? 3d and 4s. First you fill 2 electron in 4s. Now how many electron is left now? Just see, 6 to 8. Now 14, 16, 18, 20. Now 4 electrons should be here. 4 electron, okay. This should be the electronic configuration. But you know what is the electronic configuration of chromium? 1 electron. Since the energy difference between 3d and 4s is very less, so 1 electron from 4s will jump to this one. Now 3d5. Now this 3d5 is now half filled. What is this one? Half filled. So since it is half filled, hence it is more stable, okay. Same is the case with molybdenum also. Only one difference would be there. Here in place of 3d what would be there? 4d would be there, and here in place of 4s 5s would be there, okay. So the jumping of electron from 4s orbital to 3d orbital only in some cases only. Those cases I wrote there, okay. Chromium and molybdenum case, to make the d orbital half filled, 4s electron will jump, okay. But in case of copper and silver, electron will jump from 4s to 3d to make d orbital completely filled. Now let us check the electronic configuration of copper also. Just see. Copper is 29. Copper is 29. What is the electronic configuration? First s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, then 3d right here, then 4s. Now I maintain the continuity. First I wrote 3d, then 4s, but I will fill the electron first in 4s. So 4s2, 3d9. This should be the electronic configuration of copper. But actual electronic configuration of copper is 3d10. One electron of 4s will jump from here to here. So now this 3d orbital is now completely filled. What is this one? Completely filled. This is completely filled. So now it is more stable, okay. So just take care. Now this is the case with copper and silver. Okay. Now in d orbital elements electronic configuration, there are so many variations. So wherever variation is there, you should take care. In this way, these are the some precautions which you must take care while writing the electronic configuration. Okay. So in this way, this is over. Now I will move to the classification of transition elements, that is into transition series. So dear cadets, just see here transition series and their electronic configuration. Okay. So entire transition elements classified into 4 transition series. First, second, third and fourth. First transition series start with scandium 21 and it goes up to zinc 30. This is also known as 3D series. What is this one? 3D series, because 3D orbital is present here. Okay. 3D series. Individual name of elements also you can write: scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. This is the first transition series. Okay. Now second transition series. Second transition series start from yttrium 39 and goes up to cadmium 48. Okay. This is known as 4D series. What is this one? 4D series. Okay. Now third transition series, just see, start from lanthanum 57. Okay. Then there is a gap of 14 element, Ce 58 to Lu 71. There is a gap. What is the total number of element gap? 14 elements gap is there. Okay. Again it will start from hafnium 72. Hafnium 72 and goes up to Hg 80. This is known as 5D series. What is this one? 5D series. Okay. What is the name of this series? 5D series. Okay. Now try to understand these elements which are left out here. Gap is there. Remember, Ce 58 to Lu 71. Lu 71. These 14 elements are known as lanthanides. Lanthanides. Okay. And where they are found? Inside of third transition series. Inside of third transition series. Third transition series. Okay. Third transition series. Okay. Now fourth transition element series. Fourth transition series starts from actinium 89. And there is a gap of, just see, thorium 90. To here what is there? Lawrencium 103. Again there is a gap of 14 elements. Starting with actinium, but thorium 92, Lawrencium 103, 14 elements gap is there. Again it will start from rutherformidium 104. And it goes up to unbium. This element name is copernicium. Copernicium. Okay. Cn. Symbol is Cn. Okay. This is known as 6D series. What is this one? 6D series. Now just see. These elements, thorium 92. Thorium 92, Lawrencium 103. Okay. These elements are known as actinoids. What are they? Actinoids. And they are found inside of fourth transition series. Fourth transition series. Okay. fourth transition series. Okay, and this lanthanides and actinides combinedly they are known as F block elements. F block elements. F block elements, or they are also known as inner transition element. Inner transition elements. What are this one? Inner transition elements. F block elements, or they are known as inner transition elements. Okay, what are these inner transition elements? Always remember, this fourth transition series is incomplete. What is this one? Incomplete, because still elements are to be added here. This goes up to 112. Okay, an by um. Last year I taught you na the IUPAC pattern or rules for naming the elements whose atomic number is 100 or beyond 100. Okay, so these are the transition series. Okay, just remember here, in third transition series, what is there? Gap of 14 elements are there. This gap, these 14 elements, they are placed below the periodic table in two horizontal series. The first series is known as lanthanides. I wrote here lanthanides. So just see here, remember here, name is lanthanides, but lanthanum is not a member of F block elements. Lanthanides start from cerium 58, but name is lanthanide only. Similarly, second series name is actinoids, but actinium is not a member. Actinium is a member of transition series, D block elements. Okay, and these 14 are known as, here also 14, these are known as lanthanide and actinides. They are known as F block elements or inner transition elements. So why they are known as inner transition elements? Because they are found inside of third and fourth transition series. Lanthanides found inside of the third transition series. Actinides are found inside of fourth transition series. That is why they are known as inner transition elements. Okay, so I hope that you have got this one. But our heading here, transition series and electronic configuration. Okay, so transition series I taught you, but what about their electronic configuration? So just see, I will tell you their electronic configuration also, don't worry. Okay, but remember this one, F block elements will teach after D block elements, but remember they are known as inner transition elements because they are found inside of third and fourth transition series. Okay, now in some new book, what is there? This has gone up to 118. So still elements are being discovered and they are being placed in here. 112 beyond also elements are there. Okay, so now they will come under this one, fourth transition series only. Just see, try to understand. If you see the new book, so in 18th group, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon is there. Below radon also one element has been placed. Similarly in 17th group, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Beyond means below the astatine also one element has been placed. So things are being added there. Okay, now see the electronic configuration. So electronic configuration, I will deal with the first transition series. Subsequently, you will add here, no problem at all. So just see, scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, Fe, then chromium, then Mn, then Fe, then cobalt, then nickel, then copper, then zinc is there. What is this one? Zinc. I will write this side. Just see. Zinc, Zn. Okay. Now just see. Here what is the electronic configuration? Sc, 3d1, 4s2. Type. This is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is 26. This is 27, 28. 29 and zinc is 30. I hope that you are getting this one. So scandium is 3d1, 4s2. What about titanium? I will write upper side. Titanium is 3d2 4s2. Vanadium is 3d3 4s2. Chromium, the most important, chromium I am writing this side. Chromium is here 3d, it should have been 3d4 4s2, but it is 3d5 4s1. Reason I explained already. Okay, what about manganese? Manganese I will write this side. Just see, manganese is manganese 3d5 4s2. What is iron? Iron is 3d6 4s2. What about cobalt? Cobalt is 3d7 4s2. What about nickel? Nickel is 3d8 4s2. Now again in copper, what is there? Some exception is there. What is that exception? 3d10 4s1. What about zinc? Zinc is 3d10 4s2. Okay. So this is the electronic configuration of first transition series. What about second transition series? Just see. There is no problem at all. Just you have to change two things. Where 3D you have, now first member is yttrium. Okay. So first change this name, second transition elements name you change. Now scandium, yttrium, here 4D, here 5s. Everywhere 4D, 5s would be there. And now just below the chromium, what would be there? A molybdenum. And in third transition series, what would be there? Third transition series, tungsten would be there. So there also exceptional electronic configuration would be there. Just you have to check, means change this one. In place of 3D, 4D as far as second transition series is concerned. In third transition series, you will write 5D, and subsequently you have to change this one 4s also. For second transition series, this will become 5s. For third transition series, this will become 6s. Like that you can change. For the first transition series, it is 3D 4s. For second transition series, 4D 5s. For third transition series, what is this one? 5D 6s. For fourth transition series, it will be 6D. This is known as 6D series, 6D 7s. Okay. So subsequently you can fill the electronic configuration. Now just try to understand. First and second transition series, only two places variation is there. That is chromium and copper. Similarly in the second series, what is there? Where problem means variation is there, means exception is there. That is in case of molybdenum and Ag in second transition series. In third transition series and fourth transition series, a lot of variation is there. So just you check that one. But remember, those electronic configuration will not be asked. Only the first and second transition series exceptional electronic configuration will be asked. So you should remember always copper and chromium in first transition series, and second transition series Ag and molybdenum. In third transition series, what is there? Au is there and tungsten is there, but they are not similar with the first and second transition series. Okay, if you consider their d orbital half filled and full filled, you can see the electronic configuration. In this way, their electronic configuration is also completely filled. And now we have to move toward the trends in physical properties. So I hope that today's duration is enough. Now tomorrow onwards I will start the trends in physical property. Then we'll start with the atomic and ionic size. Then ionization enthalpy. Subsequently, so many things are there. Thank you.